Hi guys, so in today's video I'm going to be showing you this really awesome eyeshadow look using the new shadow palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. We're also going to be going over a little bit of strobing, which is really just intense highlighting and just doing a lot of extreme highlighting versus a lot of contouring and bronzing. Now, I did apply self-tanner because I'm not going to be using any bronzer, so if you're really pale like me but still want a little bit of color, I highly suggest doing that before you're going to do strobing. Alright, so I am starting off by priming my face with a primer wetter from Smashbox and then priming my eyes with this paint pot kind of an eyeshadow primer from Mica Beauty Cosmetics. Alright, and then I'm just going to apply the color Soft Peach and a big wide fluffy brush, and we're just going to apply this onto the base of our lid. You can blend it up to your brow bone if you want. I just kind of softly blended it up, not all the way to my brow bone. And then taking another fluffy brush in the color Morocco, we're going to blend that into the crease. Starting out really soft. If you want to go darker, you can absolutely do that, but I like to start with a lighter wash, and then if I want it darker, I'll deepen it up. Alright, and I'm just adding a little bit more in with a slightly more concentrated fluffy brush and then blending it out with a bigger one to blow it out a little bit more. Alright, and then taking this really gorgeous shade Intense Gaze, I'm going to take a flat shader brush and just apply this all over the lid. Packing that right on to get the most impact from our color. Alright, and then using the color Fudge in a tapered crease brush, I'm going to apply this in the crease. And what I mean by tapered is it's slightly less flared out. It kind of tapers into a point, so it's going to concentrate that color more in my crease instead of blowing it out all over my brow bone and crease. I wanted it to be a little bit more defined, which is why I'm using this brush with the color Fudge. And then I'm just going to blend that onto the outer corner of my lid, kind of smoking it out a little bit. And I'm just really focusing this out on my outer corner. Also, don't mind if my eyes look really swollen. I had either a bad cold or allergies or I don't know what was going on, but that week was not good for me. Alright, and then we're just going to blend this out, blowing it out a little bit more, making it a little bit softer. Alright, and then taking the shade Noir, I'm going to take a really tapered crease brush and just apply this into my outer V. And I'm just going to blend it back and forth by moving in little sweeping motions and sweeping that all over that lid and then just blending it out with this big fluffy brush that I've been using to blend out this entire look. And I know it may seem kind of pointless as to why we applied Intense Gaze onto the lid when we're kind of blending everything out on top of it, but I still kind of wanted that wash of color underneath. Alright, and then taking the eyeshadow primer again, I'm just going to apply this onto the lid where I'm going to be reapplying Intense Gaze. And this is going to give us a really nice tacky base for that shade to go onto, making it very pigmented. And then I'm just going to soften the edges up a little bit between the brown shades and Intense Gaze, just so it's not a harsh line. Alright, now we're going to be doing some highlighting. I am using my Anastasia concealer. These are so creamy, so pigmented. A little goes a long way, and if you're really pale like me, you'll get some awesome highlighting out of these. If you want to know how I highlight in depth, and contour in depth, you can watch my cream contour video. Alright, and because strobing is all about that dewy skin, I'm going to be using this Ultra Radiance Hydrating Mist from Benefit Cosmetics, and I'm going to spray that onto my foundation brush, and now I'm going to pat everything out. You can also use a beauty blender, but I wanted to try this out. And I love that hydrating mist. I will use it all day, just over my makeup if I'm not wearing any makeup. It just makes your skin feel so nice and refreshed and rehydrated. Now I'm just going to set all my highlighted areas with the highlighting banana shade from Anastasia. Alright, and then taking that color Fudge again, I'm going to be using a flat shader brush, and I put the color on the edge of the brush, the very tip of it, and then I'm going to be using that to shade under my eyes. I just kind of wanted to try this technique out. Normally I use a pencil brush, but I thought this might be interesting. Alright, and then I'm going to use that same brush and take the shade Metallic and start from my inner corner and blend that out. And I took Fudge and brought that in from the outer corner to inner corner, and then took Metallic and started from the inner corner to the outer corner, so that way each color kind of has its moment to shine. Now for the brows, I'm using the Taupe Brow Pomade from Anastasia, and this is one of her angled brushes. It's the really thin one. I believe it's the number 18, but I will post it down below. Alright, and I kind of like to play around with different routines and stuff with the pomade, and I think I figured that this way works best for me. What I've been doing is creating a nice, pretty dramatic line right under my brow, and then I like to carve out the top half, and then I like to fill in the empty spaces. And then what I'll do is start to feather that product in, moving to the front of my brow. And pull straight up, and then I pull straight down. And that creates kind of like a really nice little ombre at the front corner of the brow. And then we're just going to brush that product out with the spoolie, just making sure everything's nice and even. Alright, we got both brows done. Now just set them with some clear brow gel. This is the one from Anastasia again. I don't know what the hell they put in this, but I love this brow gel. For some reason, it just kind of dispenses the product throughout. Not just the brow gel itself, but anything I layer underneath. It just kind of makes it mold into this really gorgeous looking brow. Alright, and then taking the Rockateur Blush from Benefit. This is a gorgeous rosy blush. This is my favorite blush. We're just going to apply that onto the apples of our cheeks. Because we're not using bronzer, feel free to apply it a little heavily, but you don't need to go too crazy. I was feeling like the inner corner of my eye near my nose was a little dark, so I just took a matte white shadow and blended that out. Now I'm applying this shimmery eyeshadow stick from Marc Jacobs. I don't remember the shade. Again, I will list everything down below, and I'm just going to apply that onto the center of my lid just for an added pop of glam. You really don't need this, but it's just kind of like an extra nice little step. Alright, now I'm just going to tightline my upper lash line using that shade Noir. And I'm just using a really thin angled brush and pushing that right up into where the root of my lash connects with my eyelid. Alright, now taking the High Beam from Benefit, this is a really, really gorgeous bright highlighter. And I'm just going to apply it onto my cheekbone and a little bit above my brow bone, and I'm going to pat that into my skin. Alright, I'm just applying a little bit more blush. I was feeling a little pale. And then taking the Highlight 1 from Laura Mercier, this is one of my favorite powder highlighters. It is very, very pigmented and very soft in texture. And then taking Polyester Bride, we're going to highlight our cheekbones with that. That's an eyeshadow from Urban Decay. You can get it in some of their eyeshadow palettes or buy it as an individual. And remember, we're doing strobing here, so basically just add on as many highlighters as you can without looking too cakey. And the last highlighter we're going to be using is the Single Shadow Amber from the Anastasia Summer Collection. I'm not sure if you can still get this anywhere, but if you can, definitely do it. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous color. I really wanted to apply lashes for this look. If you have lashes, I would highly suggest it, but I could not find my lash glue once again. I have 8 tubes, but they're always all missing. So we're just going to load up on mascara here. My first coat, I'm going to be using the Perversion Mascara which I love because it's super fluffy. I can apply so many coats of it throughout the day and it never seems to get clumpy on me. Alright, and then the next one we're going to do is the Le Volume de Chanel. I'm just using this little sampler one that I had. My full size is pretty dried out. I need to get a new one. And when this is new, it is my favorite mascara of all time. Alright, and then just for some extra va-va-voom, we're going to be applying They're Real from Benefit. For the lips, we're going to be using this Fanfare lipstick from M.A.C. This is one of my favorite lipsticks. It's really, really gorgeous. The formulation's really nice, but it's also just a great everyday color and goes with so many different looks. Alright, and then for one last touch of hydration and glow, we're going to be using that Ultra Radiance Hydrating Mist from Benefit and just spray that all over your face generously. Alright, here's our finished look, guys. Thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe and hit that thumbs up button. Bye!